6 massive changes to the tenancy rules here in Vancouver and across the province of British Columbia. The NDP government has come in again with their huge hammer to make changes to the open market. Whether you're a tenant, this video is for you so you know your rights. If you're a landlord, you're going to have to stick through all 6 of these because it is going to have an impact on your asset. My name is Kyle Mark, your Vancouver Realtor, and whether you're looking to buy, sell, invest, or relocate to my beautiful city, Vancouver, book that strategy call with me. All my information is in the description below. I'm super easy to get a hold of and I am here to help. So let's put number 1 on the board right now. This is the most significant change, which is going to really have an impact on how you are going to sell your investment property. As you know, before, for vacant possession, you only needed to provide your tenant 2 full months of notice. That has now changed. It is now 4 full months. So you are now looking at a transaction where the closing dates are going to be anywhere from a minimum of 4 months, if you can time it right, to 5 months, because you have to give that 4 full month notice. So why is this an issue? A, people who are looking to purchase property here and have a mortgage have a 120-day rate hold in most cases. So who is going to want to buy something where you're going to have a 4 to 5 month completion date and you only have 120 days on your mortgage? In the climate that we are at now, yes, they are starting to go lower, but if you're a buyer and you have no guarantee of what your mortgage rate is going to be when it comes time to close on a completion property that is tenanted, that is going to have some massive impact. Also, banks don't really want to give out money to properties that still have a tenant involved, as well as they have strict timelines in terms of when that tenant needs to be out there as well. So there's all these other issues that we find that the province has overstepped their authority and have made these changes that sound good on paper, but once you start going down the details here, it starts to complicate things, because first and foremost, remember, these are properties owned by homeowners, not the government. So to put in all these restrictions to possibly lessen the value of properties is not a good look. There should be more consultation on these so that the province understands how this is going to be an impact. So the province understands how this is going to impact the market. For first-time home buyers, you are not going to want to look at investment properties because it's going to be a risk to you. So the whole thing with the province is trying to give us more home options, and this is actually doing the complete opposite. First-time home buyers, people who are needing mortgages, are likely not going to be wanting to look at investment properties because they're not going to have security with their lending unless some rules can be changed for those rate holds. And B, who's going to want to wait upwards of 5 months to complete on a home? If you've already sold your home and need to get in somewhere quick within the usual 2 to 3 months, anyone who holds an investment property, that's not going to be a fit for you. So that's number 1 and the most significant of all the changes. Number 2 on the list, there is some changes to how you can raise rent. On the old system, if you had a tenant who all of a sudden wanted to move in children, you had the capacity to increase rent. Now with this changes, anyone who is under the age of 19, a tenant can move that person in with no extra charge. Again, the province not looking out for the homeowners. You bring in more people into the unit, there's more wear and tear, there's more possibility for damage to the property. I understand everyone needs housing options, but my complete view on this whole thing is that it should be the responsibility of the federal government, provincial government, and the municipal governments to provide housing for everyone at a rate that is effective and a rate that everybody can afford. But when you are seemingly continuing to punish homeowners, it is very hard for us to navigate with our clients through these challenges. Number 3 on the list is a lot more detailed information which is required. Every eviction notice is going to be going through a web portal, which I think is a great idea. It's not going to be all paper-based. There's going to be a proper web portal where, entering the 21st century, this should have been something in place a long time ago. The one problem with this is that it goes a little bit too far. With the new rules, you have to provide names, birth dates, and the actual contract of purchase and sale to your tenant to show them proof that the unit has been sold and who it has been sold to. The issue with this, contracts of purchase and sale are supposed to be confidential. There's a lot of confidential information, clauses, things about the buyers and sellers that should not be any business to tenants. Previously, there was a form that a buyer would sign with their name on it. It was signed stating that they required vacant possession for the sale of the condo. That is no longer in existence, and they are wanting you to upload all these documents into a web portal. Again, too much information. You still need to be able to protect people such as buyers and sellers when you're maneuvering in it. But at the end of the day, I think having a web portal with a little bit more transparency is a win for both the tenant and the landlord. When it comes to the portal, Ravi Calhoun, who's the Minister of Housing, states, with this new tool, we're taking action to better protect tenants from being evicted under false pretenses and ensure that landlords who need to legitimately reclaim their units have a straightforward pathway to do so. I think this is great. Like I said before, the whole tenancy arrangements and agreements, how it was previously, was not efficient. I have been a landlord for many years and there are definitely lapses in the system. So having a nice firm web portal where everything is designed and filed properly will make the experience a lot better for landlords and tenants in place. Moving on to number 4, there's now an extended dispute period, which I think is another win with these changes. It is increased from 15 days to 30 days for a tenant to file notice of dispute for an eviction that they feel that is not fair. I know that within Vancouver and across the province, there has been a lot of bad faith evictions. A lot of tenants don't know what their rights are. This portal is going to help with that and giving them an extension on time to make sure that landlords will not unfairly abuse rules to get their units back and to take away a rental unit from a tenant. It's going to give a tenant more time to understand what their rights are, put together a case for the notice of dispute. I have been through the adjudication process, not in terms of a notice to end tenancy, but in terms of damage deposits and damage done to a unit of mine. So I understand the back end portion of that, making sure that you have all the notes on file, applying within the system to make sure that you can get your date. Everything needs to be very detailed and documented, so it gives a little bit more time within that 15 days. Obviously, when something like this comes down your way as a tenant, you just want to have as much time as possible to make sure that you can cross your T's and dot your I's. Number 5 on the list is occupancy duration requirement. Previously, the new tenant that would come into your home after you gave notice had to stay within the home for 6 months. That has now increased to 12 months. I again think that is a win. If you are kicking someone out for your own personal use, it should be for a minimum of a year. This will help protect renters and tenants a lot more, and the fines can be quite substantial. If you are not acting in good faith, you can pay your tenant back upwards of 12 months, a full year's worth of rent. So make sure that if you are doing your eviction notices, make sure that everything is done properly and in accordance with the new portal and the rules from the residential tenancy branch, because the issues and the fines that can come down on you as a landlord can be severe. Also, with that, when you are wanting to use it for personal use, it has to be immediate family. It can't be a son-in-law, a father-in-law, a brother or a sister. It has to be direct family, son, daughter, things of that nature. The residential tenancy branch defines a close family member as an individual's parent, spouse, or child, or the parent or child of the landlord's spouse. A landlord cannot end a tenancy under Section 49, so their sibling, their sibling's child, for example, a niece, their parent, sibling, an aunt, or other relative can move into the rental unit. So make sure you are following these definitions to a T, because they are very specific and you cannot just kick somebody out for a family member without it being a close proximity member to your family. Finally, number 6 on the list is faster resolutions for rental disputes. This is still a work in progress, and the goal is by 2025 is to have a system that aims to make it easier and less costly for both the tenant and the landlord to collect funds from a dispute. I know, speaking for myself, for that dispute with an adjudicator that I went through with a tenant of mine, it took upwards of 8 months from start to finish. There was thousands of dollars of damage done to cabinetry due to a water leak. There is a process where, as a landlord, you have a lot of the responsibility on you to file the complaint, pay for the complaint, submit the evidence, submit the burden of proof, and there are definitely holes in the system that make it really frustrating, not only for the landlord but for the tenant. I'm sure people like to play games, so my recommendation for landlords and tenants, just because someone is nice, they can change their colors really quickly when all of a sudden there is some sort of issue when it comes to damage or people are not sticking to things that they said verbally. You need to document everything. I have clients, I know people that don't even do a conditional walkthrough inspection. You need to have all those forms filled out. The Residential Tenancy Board has all these templated forms from the agreement to the conditional walkthrough. You don't have to make them on your own. You can add addendums if you would like, but make sure you're following everything. Make sure you document everything. And when you have someone move out, you need to have that same exact one that you filled out at the beginning there at the end for all parties to sign off on. If that is done, you know that you can protect your interest. For myself, because I documented everything, I was able to get everything paid out. It took almost 7 or 8 months to finally get that payment. So it takes some time. Hopefully by 2025 with this new change, it can streamline that both for tenants and landlords. But these are the 6 changes that are in effect as of right now in July and moving forward. Make sure that you are staying up to date with all this, especially if you are owning a tenanted property. If you have any questions how this is going to affect your tenanted property, make sure you book that call with me. It's in the description below. I can help you out with any questions you may have. And if you want a home evaluation, reach out to me as well. I'm super easy to get a hold of. So whether you're looking to buy, sell, invest, or relocate to my beautiful city, Vancouver, my name is Kyle Mark, your Vancouver Realtor, and I'll see you on the next one.